Hello, everybody, and welcome to this new episode of The Node, the podcast published by the Citizen Science Alliance and its magazine, IDA Magazine. And, in such conversation that we're having, I'm quite used to speak about science, technology, and business. And my thoughts about this character that we are going to meet today is maybe he's the best in everything of these three worlds. And so please welcome Tommaso Colombo, head of AI research at Spindox. Welcome, Tommaso.
Thank you, Luca.
I'm very happy to have you here today because I know you have a workload very, very heavy to carry on, and you have many activities and duties in your career at this time. Can you describe what's your job and what's about AI research at Spindox today?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to be here because sometimes you also need time to think of something new, how you do innovation, and also to tell people how you do it, because this is an important way of also changing your way of doing things. So I'm very happy to discuss with you. So yeah, I'm head of AI at Spindox. Currently, I'm responsible of a group of more than 50 people. These people work in the field of the AI, and I will maybe say later a bit more of what that means for us. What is important to say is that the same group of people work both on industrial projects and on research and development. So, for example, European projects, but also projects funded by regions or ministries in Italy. We believe this is the right way of doing what our clients need, but also what research and development needs. Because for a company like Spinox is, innovation, research and development means solving real problems through technology. And you only know what problems our clients want if you work with them on industrial projects. Therefore, our research and development is better, let's say, directed in the direction of what really matters to our clients, thanks to the work of our people with clients. On the other hand, working with clients in Italy is not that easy, let's say, because what they usually want is innovation and AI in 2 days. But complex technologies and change management like AI needs usually are not possible in 2 days. Thanks to our research and development, we can go to our clients with prototypes or products which are already innovative, and therefore our time to market can be faster. So this is mainly my responsibility. Part of my responsibility is also proposing new industrial, commercial projects, but also research and development projects. Therefore, I'm very, I'm very active with clients to find new ways of how AI could solve real problems and find opportunities in their business. I hope this was clear enough, Luca.
Oh, yes, everything was quite clear to me. And as I know that you started your career in AI a long time ago, you're very young. At the same time, you're very, expert in the matter, because I know you started your career in AI a long time ago. And I think you had the opportunity to see the evolution of the market and also all the sciences applied to AI. And so I'm really curious to understand your point of view about what's happening now in the field of technology and science applied to technology in the space of AI today. Can you give us some point of view, some interesting point of view of what's happening in the technology at this time?
Yeah, so this is a tough question. So I will try to answer with my opinion, of course, which is not the right one. It's just mine. As you were saying, I have been working in the field of AI for quite a while. Just to give an idea of it. I started my career in 2014. I actually started with McKinsey as a strategy consultant for a couple of years. But after those 2 years, I understood that technology, and in particular data science and mathematical optimization and machine learning, were the fields where I really wanted to make an impact. So I left McKinsey, I started a PhD in mathematical optimization applied to machine learning, meaning how to better train neural networks, which are very common today. And I also started my career in the field because while pursuing my PhD, I was also working for ACT Operation Research, which was the company later acquired by Spindox. And therefore, this is how in 2020 I started my current position at Spindox. So I wanted to say this because my perspective, let's say, is not only data and technology driven, but also business driven. Because what I try to do in my work and with my team at Spindox is to blend business consulting and artificial intelligence technology advanced solutions. What I believe of what's now happening is that ChatGPT, let's say, is covering
Yeah.
any other technique in the AI field. This is my at least my point of view. Large language models and generative AI is a, let's say, from the technical and scientific point of view, is nothing new. So those models have been there for a while, at least for 3 to 4 years, I would say, even more. And natural language processing also has been there for a while. We started working on NLP, for example, in 2016, more or less. But in 2023, what happened was that larger models happen to be much more effective. So
Right.
it didn't change much on the science behind it, but just power. Let's say better leveraging higher power made new use cases possible. So now what's happening is that AI, in particular generative AI, is more democratic, meaning that understanding words and chatting with AI is now available to everybody. This is good because everybody is, let's say, testing the power of these technologies on the one hand. On the other hand, this is also fostering a bit of marketing. So many people, which
Right.
yesterday were not experts, now
Right.
are experts. And the generative AI is covering all the other techniques that you usually need to solve real problems. So when you need to solve numerical problems, you cannot use generative AI. Maybe you can use generative AI as a, let's say, user interface to improve user experience, but behind it, through an agent, for example, you will always have other algorithms to do, for example, forecasting or mathematical optimization. So all in all, my perspective is that the AI keyword and the hype is now very high, but
Right.
it's already going down, meaning that people are asking us, clients are asking us to solve real problems. They want to see ROI. And this is very much similar to what we were doing 2 years ago, for example. So starting from
Right.
the problem, finding the best technological solution with AI or without AI to solve the problem and to bring ROI to companies. This is more or less my point of view of what's happening today.
Right, right. I totally understand and totally agree with you. And that there is so much fuzz around these words. And yes, and I do believe, like you do, that generative AI is bringing somehow people closer to artificial intelligence as a concept and as a culture, I may say. But at the same time, we need to focus on give back results with the efforts that we're already doing in the business, but also on a cultural level, on a society level. But talking about business, getting back to business, what do you think are the opportunities between open source models, technologies, approaches, and closed source approaches. Meaning, we have seen what they call the new Google, the new titans of technology in companies like, for example, OpenAI and Anthropic and other newcomers that are really pressuring against the incumbents, right? And to me, it's like a game that is going, beyond the line. When some systematic, strategic approach to open source is trying to, to leave space, to bring back space in the competition. I'm talking about the Chinese model, but also I'm talking about Llama, about Meta, and such characters in the market, such players in the market. So, what are your opinion mainly as a strategic businessman and man of science and technology?
So, yeah, again, difficult question here. So what I believe is happening is that, of course, let's say AI, the new generative AI led hyperscalers like Google, Microsoft have invested and are investing a lot in the field. So still today, their services are let I wouldn't say cheap, but still affordable for many use cases.
Right.
Nevertheless, these companies will need to capitalize on the investment. Many of the resources they're providing are free, which is very good for innovation, and we are very happy of that. But what I believe is that OpenAI, which is very tied to Microsoft, as we all know, and
Right.
other players who invested a lot in the past will need to capitalize, and they are already starting to do so. Therefore, in the mid to long term, but probably not so far in the future, I expect an increase, yes, in the power, in the capacities of these techniques, but also in the price. We are already experiencing with some clients, let's say, the need to find different solutions to the ones from hyperscalers, also for a matter of compliance, for example, to AI Act, as you might imagine. So
Right.
what I believe is that newcomers now are let's say are getting closer to the big investors of the past. Let's say also DeepSeek, for example, as you saw. I think the direction will be on smaller models, more targeted models to make it cheaper and also less, which is the other, let's say, the other side of the moon, less impactful in terms of carbon footprint, because as you know,
Right.
behind it there is an energy problem that I see
Yeah.
for operating the hardware. So my view is that models will become more and more a commodity. More open source models will come out of smaller sizes and cheaper in terms of computation you need to operate those, and therefore, let's say we will have a split into some companies and clients of ours will go in the full custom mode, meaning that they want their own solution, not depending on companies from abroad, especially with the current macroeconomic and political
Right.
situations
Yeah.
we're experiencing.
Perfect.
And on the other side, the large corporations which do not want to risk anything and want to be with the most important and backed up players will stay with large corporations. I don't know if I
Right.
answered your question.
Yeah, sure, perfectly. Thank you so much, Tommaso. Yes, you absolutely gave us a proper view on the situation on the market between open source and closed source. Of course, you did. And in the minute while I was listening to your words, I was thinking about the new wave of applied technology that generative AI is presenting to the market, right? Because it's a fundamental shift to to new processes, to new process management approach, right? One of those is involved what's the buzzword of the moment in deployment and in coding, uh, which is the thing they called vibe coding, right? So all the raising of those applications and platforms that grants you the deployment of your solution by conversation. And albeit I think we are still in the early stage, very early stage of such tools. At the same time, I think we can consider them to be a good glimpse at the future, right? I really don't know how. I really don't know the extent of such technology will be in the future, but I think it gives us hints and signals about the shifting of also of the of the work, the way we work on software. And what are your opinion about these new trends that is raising up?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Well, the way people are working is changing. This is happening in all fields, and in development is probably happening even faster in a way. I'm experiencing this actually within Spindox because we are running many academies on how to improve the way, or not improve, but change the way people code. Spindox is a company with 1,300 people.
Right. Sure.
50 of which are working on AI. The other 1,200 are working with coding. And therefore, we are working a lot together on how to improve, to make it more efficient and more effective. To be honest with you, it works. It works. What we are experiencing is that it works much better if you are already an experienced developer.
Right.
This is very, very important, in my opinion, and it will change the way we develop solutions. So I read something about that in I don't remember, a couple of days ago. And the quote is that we are changing from, let's say, developers to makers, meaning that it is much more important to be able to conceptualize a new solution and then test and see that the developed solution is compliant to what you conceptualized than actually developing it. So I believe the time dedicated to actual development will be much lower, and we have already experienced with it in many pilots. We actually let's say, changed all our processes of how Spindox people code, and we see that actual development will be much less in the future, but you will spend the majority of your time as a maker. So designing the new solutions, defining the requirements, the functionalities, and then interacting with tools helping you to code. So you will be on the one hand a maker, meaning that everything will be, let's say, a kind of product where you define functionalities at the beginning. Then you will have a tool helping you in coding, which will not take a lot of time, but then you will spend time in checking what the output is actually what you expected. Therefore, I believe that we will still develop code a lot, meaning, but in a different way. So we will be much faster in the actual development, but we will still spend time in designing and then in testing what was coded by our friend from Gen AI.
Yeah, understand. So the expertise and the knowledge managed by human still remains at the top, right? And on the driving wheel. I was asking myself. I know that Spindox and your team particularly works with very big brands, global corporates, and from finance to motors to whatever you name it, you have it, right? Spindox is a very big player in Italy, and I would like to ask you, which are the suggestions that you give to your clients to improve their AI strategy. So what are the most important advices that you bring to them?
Good question. So we are working a lot on AI strategy with our clients because we always start with the objective of our engagement with our clients. So that's already strategy, all in all, because we always start from the opportunity, the problem we want to address, and then we find the right technology to solve it. In our opinion, in my opinion, AI strategy basically is choosing the best use cases where you actually want to implement AI. All in all, at the end of the day, what you want as output from AI strategy is to compute the value you can bring thanks to the development and the implementation and then the productionalization of AI-based solutions and what you get out of that. So you want to compare potential savings or increase their revenues with the cost of the solution. This is, let's say, one of the main pillars of an AI strategy. The second one is probably very often tied to regulation, meaning that do you want to be married to one or the other technology, and is this, if yes or if not, is this in line with regulation? Because compliance is getting more and more important. So these are, I believe, compliance to AI Act, GDPR, ISO 42001, 42001. Compliance and value are the two main ingredients of an AI strategy. Then technology will follow. This is at least how we work with our clients currently.
Very understood. Perfectly understood. And I know the perspective that you're telling us about, and it's supposed to be effective in terms of delivery, right? In terms of ROI and delivery since the very start of the project. So keeping that in mind, this is a very good suggestions, I may say. One more question about the the context, strategy context, and strategy scenario that you are into at this time. From our perspective, we are meeting many big corporations, many startups, and advisory businesses, and scientists, and so on. And one idea that I got from this recent conversation is that the software market, the IT in general, market and industry is trying to evolve into a product lead in the industry. I don't want to mention the big example of Salesforce, for example, but could be a nice example to throw at the table, right? But it seems to me like also consultancy firms, classical consultancy firms, are trying to get into the product industry in order to leverage their own knowledge, their expertise, but selling with other kind of business models which are not, strictly related to classic advisory methods. Do you feel the same? What Spindox is going to do in such terms? Are you, as a strategist, AI strategist for the company, thinking about this?
Yes, your point is correct in my opinion. So our let's say what I usually say with our CEO at Spindox is that everybody is doing AI today. So everybody. So McKinsey, Boston Consulting Group, Bain, so the big three, but also the big four, and then of course technology and companies and system integrators. So everybody, let's say, what we see is that firms which in the past were focused on the bottom part of the work, so developing services, processes, are trying to eat the pie of the big consulting firms, and vice versa. The big consulting firms, the big three, but also other boutique consulting firms, are trying to eat the pie of technology. My personal opinion is that this is happening as a consequence of what I was saying before. So now services, meaning like repetitive work, vast amount of human manual or conceptual work is getting different. It's probably shrinking quite a bit. So on the one hand, I believe that now it's much easier for a consultant with a decent academic background to use AI techniques to do the calculations or data science in self-service without technical guys. So that's one thing consulting the big three consulting companies are trying to do, right? To get also the pie of technology products companies, because you don't need a lot of developers now to build products. On the other hand, system integrators and technology companies are experiencing, let's say, push from the market, from the demand to lower the costs, because there is the opinion, which I also actually agree with, that manual work, repetitive work need to be cut, because we will have AI companions to do that. So let's say we have these two. I see a push from the bottom to the top of the consulting pyramid, and from the top to the bottom. I don't know who will win. What we are doing, you were asking that to me. What we are doing is that we are trying to be tied to our core skills, which are technological advancedness and the ability to be makers, because we are able and we are used to producing solutions and products, and that's something we are very good at. And we are also very good at technology and with a strong scientific background. Therefore, we are trying to help our clients get value through these technologies, helping them to build something that can go in production, since we have a long experience to do so. So we are trying to bridge consulting on high level from an AI strategy perspective, but remembering that our backup is that we are able to perform complex projects where you need to integrate different systems to go in production with many users. This is currently, let's say, it is leading us somewhere. I don't know how the big three top consulting companies are evolving in this field, but our experience is that when it ends up in the actually delivering a product, something working and accepted by internal clients within our clients, so people, then we are better than consulting companies who are usually, let's say, used to deliver PPT presentations and suggestions that others will execute and productionalize.
Yeah, understood. It's like it's shortening the line between idea and execution. I do believe myself that artificial intelligence will bring this very, very effectively as a business proposition, and we already we can see around the consultancy firm this change of approach and attitude, and I say yes, surely I do agree with you. And as long as the conversation went, I find you really as a crossover between business, science, and technology. And this conversation is so engaging that I'm really I'm happy to end it with our last question, Tommaso, that you already know, because you know that we at the Node have a classic last question for you guys and you exceptional professional managers that are here with me in conversation. I have my last question, and my last question is for you. Like, how do you, Tommaso Colombo, pick up your decision, bring up your decision in your job, but maybe I may say also in your daily life?
Well, this is a tough question, as many today, so I will try to answer. I was telling you before starting the
Yeah.
conversation, there is not a good way of making decisions, let's say. What I can say is how I would like to take decisions, and then I will say how I actually take decisions. So the way I would like to take decisions is a thorough process of gathering evidence on the pros and cons of a decision, and then deciding the best option possible. All in all, at the end of the day, I'm a mathematical optimization guy,
Right.
AI guy. Therefore, I would like to have data on everything, on all the potential options, and then find the absolute best one. This is the theory. The reality, unfortunately, is not like that because I don't have time, I don't have the data, and therefore the best proxy I found so far is getting opinions from people. So what I usually try to do is to let's say examine the problem, the decision I need to take with making my own opinion. Then I usually ask to at least one or two people, people I trust and or I consider expert in the field, and I ask their opinion. Then what I try to do is that I add their opinion to mine. I make a
Mhm.
weighted average and then decide. Gut feelings plays an important role still, after all. But this is more
Well,
or less what I try to do.
yeah, well, it looks to me like a very wise strategy, this sort of collaborative intelligence to to decision making. So, yes, absolutely, I respect this way of approaching decision making. So, Tommaso Colombo, I was so happy to meet you today, to have you in our conversation at the Node, and so I really appreciate your time and meet up in Catania next time, maybe, right?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Luca, for having me here, and let's see in Catania.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Tommaso Colombo, head of AI research at Spindox. Thank you so much for your time today.
You too. Have a good day. Bye bye.